Now we're getting ready to get into our 5-part series on the type of foods each state is known for. And we got some interesting information for you this week, guys. It's not as bad as last episode with some of the food, but I found a couple crazy ones. So let's dig into it. So the first state we have is Minnesota or Wisconsin. Wisconsin. So we all know about the good old Green Bay Packers and the Cheeseheads up there.
Yeah,
they're known for the dairy capital of the U.S.
Also, they're also well known for, I believe, their breweries.
Yes, they are. Yes, they're well known for their breweries.
Yeah,
which is interesting. You know, dairy and beer. But anyway, so one of the recipes that I found, one of the dishes that I found is called. Actually, sounds really good. I would definitely try it. It's called beer cheese soup.
There you go. That's the combination of the brewery and the cheese.
Exactly. So you get your. I wonder if it's a specific type of beer they use, or it doesn't matter. So what it is a soup style, and it has cheese curds in it. Pretty much cheese curds inside of it, and it almost kind of looked like a hearty chicken noodle soup, kind of sort of, without all the noodles in it. It looks really, really good.
Yeah, it looks like it has meats, potatoes, other specialties. Order of the day: the beer cheese soup is made with Huberbach beer and sharp cheddar, and is garnished with yet another Wisconsin favorite, popcorn.
Oh.
As the rest of the menu, you can read through the food and description of the gallery. That is wild. Wisconsin, y'all are wilding out. I would try that.
They have so they're saying there's popcorn in their soup. So
yeah, see the topping. So that's popcorn.
Oh man, I thought that was the cheese curds.
Nah, man, you were giving them way too much credit. So Wisconsin takes the three things it's famous for: beer, cheese, and popcorn, and makes what I would call a potato soup out of it. So
yes, it looks really, really good. I definitely would try that.
I would try that.
Definitely give that one. I'm definitely going to try that really soon.
The Midwest usually brings it when it comes to food. I will say this. And so if you don't know what the Midwest is, a lot of people think like the Midwest is like Nebraska and stuff. No, those are the plain states. The Midwest is Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan, and parts of, I would say, western Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So Midwest, so far you're doing the thing.
Yeah.
So our next one for Wisconsin is...
the bratwurst.
The bratwurst. Now we all know that the bratwurst is a European dish. Mm-hmm. My family's originally from Germany, so when I think of bratwurst, I'm thinking Germany. I don't know if that's actually where.
That's probably where it's from. It sounds like a German. Yeah, bratwurst. It sounds like it has a German spelling. Sounds like a German word.
Yeah, with some sauerkraut. Oh my God, and a good brochant. And for you guys that don't know what brochant means, all it is bread. It's a roll bread, but it's crispy on the outside, like it's a ball, crispy on the outside, and it's really, really moist on the inside.
Yeah.
So definitely try out the bratwurst in Wisconsin. You could do it any kind of way. You could do a bread, cook it in beer. Mm-hmm. A lot of people cook their bratwurst in like a dark beer, right. Like a Shinerbach or. It don't really matter. I mean, beer just makes it taste a whole lot better.
Yeah, and the Midwest has a lot of German immigrants to it. When you think of places like Iowa, parts of Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, you're talking a lot of German immigrants.
Yeah.
So that's where you're going to have your brats. That's where you're going to have your German, foods.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the next Midwestern state, the great state of Illinois.
Shot-town,
yeah.
Chicago. So when I think of Illinois or I think of Chicago, I think of pizza, deep dish.
Yeah. I was stationed in Great Lakes, Illinois for about a year when I was in the Navy. And you could hop on a train from Great Lakes, Illinois, and you could end up in Wisconsin. You could end up in Chicago, or you could end up in Indiana off that one rail line that just runs through past all those cities. And so I used to hop on the train all the time and go to downtown Chicago. And I had a Chicago native who was in the Navy with me at the time. So he was able to show me like all the parts of town, get all the best foods. They have a great Chinatown down there, really good food down there too. But yeah, the deep dish pizza, and it's not quite like you'd think of a normal pizza. It's like a lasagna.
Oh man, but
don't call it a lasagna.
Yeah, don't do that. So the first time I was in Chicago. I was traveling from here, from Texas. I was going back to the Middle East, and I had to stop in Chicago O'Hare Airport. By people, 9.5 hour hangover. It's probably the second worst airport that I've ever been to, besides what's that? The airport in England. I'll think of it and I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
But it's definitely the worst airport I've been in. But while I was there for 9.5 hours, I got to taste the most amazing deep dish.
Oh, yeah.
And the Chicago style dog.
Yeah, where they put they put like the cucumber on the dog.
Man,
they add stuff because it talked about it here. It's between their really good pizza, they have their salad topped hot dogs, which yes, they put cucumbers and all kinds of stuff on their hot dogs. It's good if you've never tried it. It's good. So
yeah, it was really really good. So for 9.5 hours, I got full off deep dish pizza, and I had it more than once because I was there for 9 hours and I'm big boy. So
yeah. They also have their, besides their deep dish pizza, they have their, I don't even want to try to pronounce that. Semita Atomica.
Yeah, so I put that on there because it had a weird name, and
it's a Mexican sandwich.
So if you guys been here in Texas, you ever ate at like a Shaloski's, or it kind of, so imagine, it looks like the type of bread that Shaloski has, and then it could be like a sourdough bread, maybe like a French, I don't know. And it has pork on it, like ham and mustard, lettuce, and I think, let's see, it is the sauce that it has on there. It's pork,
mozzarella,
mozzarella,
pineapple sauce, chipotle pineapple sauce,
spicy citrus herb called papello. So if there's anybody out there in Chicago, if I pronounce that word wrong, please comment in the box or,
send us a hateful email.
Send us a hateful email about it, because I'm not sure how to pronounce that, folks.
Yeah.
But it looks really, 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 really delicious. So on to the next state.
All right, Missouri. Nobody can decide if you're a Midwestern state or a Southern state, but it's all right.
Missouri.
We believe in you, Missouri. The mighty Mo.
So I don't know anything about Missouri. I just know that's where I did my AIT.
Oh yeah.
I mean, no, I'm sorry, my basic training in Fort Leonard Woods, Missouri, right? Fort Lawson Woods, Missouri. Yeah. So I did my basic training out there.
I got family in Missouri.
It was cold, not fun, but really cold.
Yeah.
So
the gooey butter cake apparently
actually sounds really good.
It does sound really good, actually.
I don't know. I don't even know what's in it. I mean, I read what's in it when I did my research, but
10 out of 10, I would eat this.
Yeah, just because the name. Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently it's from St. Louis. I have friends in St. Louis. Few food fans visit St. Louis without trying the gooey butter cake. What is it? It's a flaky yet cakey crust with a rich, slightly chewy cream cheese and vanilla topping. Some are gooier than others. Some are cloyingly sweet. But Caldi's in Kirkwood is just right. A little goes a long way, and the pros know that a corner piece is the way to go. Pair it with a Caldi's coffee and a nap will be in order. I think next time I'm in Missouri visiting family, I'm going to have to try that.
So I'm looking at it. It kind of looks like a brownie, because we all love the crust of a brownie, right?
Yeah, it's like a there's a term for these type of little cakes. Yeah, it's kind of like a brownie, but think of like a vanilla brownie.
So, question for you guys: is a brownie a cake or a cookie?
Oh my God!
Is it a cake or a cookie, folks? Comment in the box below.
Or send us a hateful email.
Is a brownie a cake or a cookie? Huh. Let's go.
Huh. That is interesting. All right. Next up we have, for the great state of Missouri, the mighty Mo, is the St. Paul sandwich.
Not from St. Paul, Minnesota.
So, yeah, the St. Paul sandwich, which can only be found in St. Louis. Why wouldn't they just call it the St. Louis sandwich? And not St. Paul, Minnesota, allegedly came from the local Chinese restaurants looking to appeal to their American diners back in the 1940s. The sandwich tops a fried egg. Ooh, that sounds so good already. Fuyong patty with lettuce, tomato, pickles, and mayo, all sandwiched between two pieces of white bread. Miley's special St. Paul has a mix of proteins in the patty for an added dimension of flavor. I would try that. 10 out of 10.
So what is a food patty?
egg foo young patty. Oh wait, foo young patty. Yeah.
My question is, what is a foo young patty?
I don't know. I'm not an expert in Chinese food.
Hey, if you know what a foo young patty, comment below or send us a hateful email.
Yeah. So Missouri, maybe you guys are a Midwestern state with how good you're bringing it. The Midwest always brings the food. Yeah. All right, moving on into the dirty South, we have Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Southern style food, but with an opossum pie. Ooh.
So if you guys don't know what a possum pie is, I ain't gonna lie. When I first heard somebody say a possum pie, I immediately thought like you guys are making like a possum, like a possum pot pie, kind of sort of.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine.
That's what I was thinking, but it's actually a dessert.
So they make a possum into a dessert?
Yeah. So what it is you know that a possum they kind of hide or they're real sneaky or they don't come out, right? So the reason why they call it a possum pie is because it's hiding something. So and what it's hiding is an actual dessert dish, and it's hiding because it has chocolate pudding in the inside. So you don't see the chocolate pudding until you cut into the pie. And I heard it was really, really delicious, so I'd definitely try it. I would suggest change the name, but I would definitely try it.
No, keep the name. Keep the name. That's the only thing. I mean, that's one of the things going for it, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, like, I'm not above eating a possum, but at the same time, you know, I'd have to kind of know how it was cooked. Is it normal to people eat possums? I'll try anything once.
Nah, I'm good
except
on
for the things that we talked about from those other states.
When I
certain
see
body parts, I'll try any animal, but I won't try certain body parts.
When I see a possum, man, when I think about eating a possum, all I do is see its ugly face, and I'm just sitting here like, God, man, God gave this creature no type of like special like good looking features at all. It's a horrible looking creature. Horrible looking creature. So on to the next one. We're going to Michigan.
The mighty state of Michigan, home of the Detroit Tigers, Detroit Lions.
Oh, yeah, and Eminem.
And
shout out to Shayna. She's from Michigan.
Oh, yeah? My family's from Michigan.
She told me that she doesn't know what Michigan is known for food. Yeah. And we made a comment about crackers and milk a while ago. So let's dig in and see this dish that Michigan has, or this little dessert drink, actually sounds pretty delicious. Yeah,
so it's called a Boston Cooler. Has nothing to do with the city of Boston and everything to do with the city of Detroit. Why not just call it the Detroit? What's wrong with you Midwestern states naming your stuff? So the delicious ginger ale, Verner's, born and bred in Michigan, is mixed with vanilla ice cream to create it's like an ice cream float, but with beer.
A root beer float with ginger beer, bro.
Oh, my goodness. The cooler gets its Boston name from Detroit's Boston Edison district. Okay, that makes sense. The smooth and fully blended float is the perfect balance of gingery spice and creamy vanilla for a summertime sweet treat. Wow.
That sounds really good.
That sounds amazing.
With some alcohol in it.
All right. Honestly. What else has Michigan got going for? Because that's really good.
So, so great job on that, Michigan. So the next one is a hot fudge cream puff. What is it? Yeah, hot fudge cream puff. So what I'm looking at vanilla ice cream with some type of fudge on top of it, and like
caramel.
Is that caramel?
That looks like caramel.
Caramel on top, and it's just sitting right on top of a vanilla.
So you just take this big thing of like vanilla ice cream, and you put like a hot fudge, and then you put caramel on top of it, and that's your hot fudge cream puff.
All I know, it looks delicious.
Oh, I would 10 out of 10 would 10 try out of 10. This.
Michigan, you're coming up in the world, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
We got two good dishes, dessert, but it's okay. It's
back to back, yeah.
Back to back.
That's amazing. Would try.
Hey, Shayna. Hey, you guys are known for desserts.
Yeah. All right. The next state, Indiana. Now, I have been to Indiana a lot. And I just want to say, love your state, love your rivers. Went on a lot of canoe trips in and around Indiana, a lot of biking trips in and around Indiana. I don't remember y'all having any kind of special food.
When I was looking up the Indiana.
But Michael Jackson's from Indiana, so there's that. Hammond. He's from Hammond, Indiana.
That kind of explains it. Shout out to Michael Jackson, MJ. Rest in peace, Michael Jackson. You know what? Shout out to all the Jackson family.
Oh yeah, the Jackson 5 was amazing. Janet Jackson was amazing.
Yeah, I think as of right now, you guys have
All right, so what we have,
the worst.
we've covered some gnarly stuff on this podcast, on this series of the 50 states. Indiana. So what we have is a fried brain sandwich. Before you get too grossed out, keep in mind that fried brain really isn't common anymore. I imagine why. But it is authentic. It's authentically what? The brain sandwich came to the Evansville area with German immigrants. God. Y'all were doing so good, too. And was once served in taverns and small-town diners around the area. Few places offer it today. Those that do use pork brains rather than beef. Yeah, you don't want mad cow disease. The Hilltop Inn still proudly serves its jumbo fried brain sandwich to longtime local fans and curious tourists alike. WTF.
Can we just go on to the next one?
Kentucky. Back in the dirty South.
Look, so I graduated from Fort Knox, Kentucky. And one thing I can say about Fort Knox, Kentucky is that their Southern style food was pretty amazing. Mm-hmm. It was the first time I've ever tried, we couldn't say it on the radio. No, we're going to say it anyway. SOS or Shit on Shingles or biscuits and gravy. Right. I was still kind of young. I didn't grow up eating biscuits and gravy, and it was the first place I was at a Shoney's restaurant, and they had biscuits and gravy. And I seen this lady, she just piling it on there, and I'm like, "What is that?" And she was like, "It's biscuits and gravy," and in my family we don't do white gravy, so I'm like, "Ugh, gross! It's white gravy." And I low key went back up there and I grabbed the biscuit, put a little the gravy and the meat gravy on it. I was like, oh. It was freaking delicious. Changed the world. To this day, one of my favorite things to eat. Biscuits and gravy. But this one is a little different. It is called spoon bread.
It's a crusty gold spoon bread scooped straight from the baking dish and served with fresh butter. James Beard called spoon bread a heavy souffle. It is cornbread's fancy cousin. Oh, it's cornbread. So egg, buttery, tender, and moist. While yellow cornmeal reigns in some parts of the country, legendary mid-20th century Boone Tavern manager and cookbook author Richard T. Hugan required white cornmeal for the tavern signature dish. Home cooks can choose many recipes to add. Spoon bread. So it's basically like it's basically just a fancy type of cornbread served with this on a spoon.
So I would take that and I would make that exact recipe.
You think of all the things Kentucky's known for, though, right? Yeah, like fried chicken.
Fried chicken.
Yeah.
I got that down on there. I have fried chicken. What else do I have? Hot chicken. No, that's Tennessee. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're moving on to Tennessee here.
But yeah, so Kentucky.
But also bourbon whiskey is
bourbon
also
whiskey,
a Kentucky thing.
I mean, this is not food, but they're also known for tobacco.
Growing
tobacco in
Kentucky, Virginia. Yeah, they would definitely be known for tobacco.
But yeah, so definitely what I was thinking about with the spoon bread is making the spoon bread, but stuffing it with like some Texas chili.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And eating it like that in like a little bowl and putting it in the oven, let it get that crispy, buttery. Oof, man, sounds delicious. Kentucky, I think that's one for you guys, but I think that's the only thing. Oh, moonshine.
It's the only thing on our list. Does not mean it's the only thing Kentucky's known for. It's just the one odd dish that stood out.
And Colonel Sanders.
Yeah. All right, moving on further. The more we get into southern states, the better the food's going to get.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe it's because I'm from the South. Maybe it's because I was raised in the South. But southern food is just amazing. But we have Tennessee. Tennessee is known for dried ribs. Did not know that about Tennessee.
So, for you guys that don't know, dry ribs is nothing but a dry rub, right? I've argued this a lot with Tennessee. They always argue with Texas saying they got the best barbecue. Texas said we got the best barbecue. Tennessee says they have it. One thing I can say about Tennessee is that your dry rub is amazing.
Yeah.
Your ribs are amazing, but guess what, Tennessee? We dominate on dry rub and wet barbecue sauce.
Well,
just saying, like we got it sold up, baby. We do both of them.
You do realize a lot of early Texas settlers were from Tennessee, right?
So
you know that, right?
We don't want to talk about that.
Okay, moving on.
Because I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Sam Houston's from. If I'm not mistaken, he was the governor of Tennessee at one point.
I don't know if Sam Houston was, but he might have been.
So what I was told was that.
But you talk about like Davy Crockett and all of his Tennessee Volunteers and all of that stuff. Like a lot of Texas settlers have their roots tied back to Tennessee.
So let's bring out some sports a little bit. So Boogie, one of the infamous Boogie down to VFW, shout out to you, Boogie. He told me that Sam Houston was the governor of Tennessee.
Okay.
And if you think about it, he's the governor of Tennessee. What color is the Tennessee Volunteer colors?
Oh, isn't it orange?
Orange.
Right, with the big T.
With the big T. Now, what color is the Texans?
The Longhorns?
The same color. And they both had the same governor.
With the big T, yeah. Well, with the big Longhorn.
And they both had the same governor.
Huh.
So.
Maybe, yeah. You also, now, no offense to, people in Tennessee or anything, but y'all did steal one of the best football teams of all time. So,
Yeah.
Just saying.
That's why we're the best, because
because we created a really good football program, and then you guys stole it. So then we had to turn on and create another football program. Maybe it's because I'm from Houston. I'm just a little sore about the Houston Oilers. All right. But anyways, Tennessee's a beautiful state. I've driven through it many times. Amazing food, amazing people. You guys have everything from like fried bologna sandwiches to your Tennessee whiskey to your fried chicken. All around, hands down, just a great state. And I've loved it every time I've been there. Moving on to the mighty Mississippi.
M.I. crooked-letter, I, hunchback,
Hunchback.
I, Mississippi. Mississippi, I think, is number 2 of the worst food.
What?
It's only because of this one dish. Like, this food sounds like I'm, like, on some type of camp, and there's really no food around, and we're eating like sawdust and stuff like that.
I mean, it does sound like Mississippi.
So, Mississippi, you are known for this thing called the Slug Burger.
Yeah, they are a source of hometown pride in Corinth and other northeastern Mississippi towns. Oh, that makes sense, the northeastern parts. Near the Tennessee border. Created during the Depression when meat had to be stretched with a starchy filler. That makes sense. They used to sell for a nickel, sometimes called a slug. The mix may contain pork or beef, soy or potato flour. They're pressed thin and deep fried until crispy, but still soft in the middle, and served hot on a grilled soft bun with mustard, pickles, onions, and sometimes standard burger adornments. Order one at the Borum's drugstore in Corinth, an artifact-filled landmark where the soda fountain dispenses homemade Cokes and milkshakes. That actually sounds good. They're called slug burgers because a nickel was called a slug back then in those parts. So think of it it's a nickel burger. They're not eating brains, at least like Indiana was.
That's true.
So.
I give you that. So Mississippi, I guess I will. When I go to Mississippi, I want to try a slug burger. Yeah. If you guys have them,
it's a nickel burger.
Hey, aren't they called? Oh, okay, yeah. So nickel burger. Do they have anything else?
That's all you have on the list.
On the slug burger. Huh.
That sounds really good, though. I mean, and there's history behind it. It's sold at a historical place. I mean, I don't know. I'd try it. We need to do a road trip one of these years and just like road trip through these places and eat their famous food.
Yeah, so I was thinking about real soon, man, that we pick maybe the top 3 that we want to try.
Yeah.
One of them has to be a bizarre. Not going to be the brains. Not doing it. Sorry.
Nothing brains or mountain oyster related.
I'll try.
You can try it.
I'll try it.
You can try it.
I'll try. So I said we picked like 3 places, and we traveled up there, not too far from where we at, and we go try some of these different places out and actually see what it's about.
I wonder because when I lived in Florida, there was a lot of alligator food out there, like gator tail, fried gator tail sushi, gator tacos. I wonder if Louisiana has similar, because they're next on our list. And I'm like, we want to try something, because I think, was it you I got in an argument about, like, whether or not we should try gator?
Yes.
Because, like, you're all down for the Rocky Mountain oysters, but you won't eat a gator tail?
I won't eat reptiles as far as, like, frogs, even though a frog's not a reptile.
They're not a reptile.
And
would you eat a turtle?
No.
Would you eat snake?
I have ate a snake. And a turtle, I probably would do a turtle. I would do a turtle before I do. I would definitely do a turtle, but I would not do frog legs.
Okay, we're not talking about frogs. They're amphibians. Frogs are up there with, like, the brains and the Rocky Mountain oysters. That's some weird stuff, but gator's good food.
Yeah, I'll try gator. They say gator is worse than pork. What I mean by that is you have to cook that stuff all the way through.
Probably. I don't know. I've always eaten it deep fried.
But, so I when I was looking up foods from Louisiana, I would be honest with you, I didn't even bother looking up food because it's so massive. Like, the list goes on and on and on and on. So what I did is just did a little history on the difference between. We're going to name some foods from Louisiana, obviously, but I want to touch bases the difference in Cajun and Creole.
Okay.
And I'm not going to go too far in depth unless Levi knows a little bit more in depth. I'm just, as far as the food, the only main difference in Creole and Cajun is that Creole uses tomato base or some type of tomato base. So they have their Creole jambalaya. Cajun has their jambalaya. Creole has their gumbo. Cajun has their gumbo. And the difference is Creole use a lot of tomatoes or tomato paste in their cuisines. So that's really the big difference about it.
Okay. Yeah, reading this. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's good.
So basically, was reading like Creole is a mixture of European, African, and Caribbean style cooking, whereas Cajun is French, right?
Yes.
So Louisiana, because of New Orleans being there, is just a massive fusion of cultures. You have Louisiana was founded by French, but then it was also bought by the U.S. You have Caribbean influence there. You have African influence there because of, unfortunately, the slave trade from back in the 19th century. You have local indigenous culture fusion happening there. So there's a lot of just cultures blending in New Orleans. And if you've ever been there, it's absolutely a beautiful place to visit. But yeah, just read this. So Cajun is that 17th, 18th century French, those original French settlements. And then Creole is the fusion of European, which would be like British, French, Spanish, as well as African and Caribbean cooking.
Yeah, and the food there is so massive, man.
Yeah,
you got gumbo, you got jambalaya, you got po' boy, you got crawfish etouffee, you got dessert fried donuts called beignets. Like, it just so I'm just going to safely say this: it's Louisiana with some parts of Texas. I'm going to say Louisiana, Texas. Let's see if you agree with me with this. We make the food what it is in the U.S. We are if you look at the United States and you say food, you're going to think of Louisiana and Texas.
I would agree with that because Houston has over 600 different types of cultures represented just in our city. And Houston, as far as like the four big top cities are concerned, Houston is known for having a massive variety of food. Yeah. And we are right there on the Gulf Coast, not but 80 miles from Louisiana border. And then you have New Orleans, which, again, as I already iterated, has massive amounts of culture infusion from all over the world. And their food is just world class. Yeah. So as far as food goes, if you're a foodie like myself, you're going to enjoy the Gulf Coast. And that would include Louisiana and Texas.
Oh, I just got distracted. Side note, squirrel. Hey, guess what I seen today at HEB?
What'd you see?
They were cooking green hatch chili outside.
Heck yeah.
I'd just bring that up. Sorry, a little bit off
Texas
topic.
Texas is also so massive. You have to realize Texas is larger than the country of France.
Yes.
So in Texas, you also have your barbecue. One thing I miss about living in East Texas, Northeast, which is like the northeast corner of Texas, it's called East Texas, is how good their barbecue is. I was up there recently, and I just stopped at like a local stop on the side of the road, got myself a pulled pork sandwich, and it's one of the best pulled pork sandwiches I've ever had. Southeast Texas, we have good food, but I don't think we have quite the barbecue that East and North Texas has. Yeah. And we also have really good Mexican food here in Southeast Texas, but I don't think we have the Mexican food that's as good as, say, El Paso has. So Texas has all your food needs, but we are about 600 miles apart from each other.
We're a whole different region, a whole different
but
culture.
But if you're talking like Southeast Texas mixed with Louisiana, yes, that's probably the best food in the whole world. Within like 150-mile bubble,
yeah,
I would say the best food is right there.
So one thing I want to say about my experience in Louisiana, I was coming back from, Atlanta, Georgia. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I grew up a military brat. We traveled the world, and I always have a hard time pronouncing this, so please forgive me. Send me a hateful email or give us a call and tell me how to pronounce it. The Bunan sausages? Bunan? So what it is, it's a pork casing, mm-hmm. and it has like dirty rice filling in it. Like it has rice and the meat and all this other stuff. It's inside a sausage casing, and you eat it. So, and you could either fry it or you could do it the regular way.
That sounds like haggis from Scotland. Sorry. That's what I'm envisioning in my mind.
So it's really, really good. So I was coming back from Georgia, and I'm almost in Texas. I'm probably about maybe 75 miles from Texas-Louisiana border. And I decided to stop and at this gas station and get me something to drink and a bag of chips or whatever. And I walked in there, and they had fried Bunan.
Ooh.
And so I was like, I've never had fried Bunan before. So I grabbed me one. It was on a stick. Grabbed me something to drink. Got in my car, got back on the highway, heading towards Texas. And I promise you not, I think I drove about 15, 20 miles. Turned the U-turn, got off the highway, flipped the U-turn, went back to the gas station, and grabbed me a fried Bunan and a regular Bunan. Got back on the highway and went home. That's just how good it was. It was freaking delicious. It was spicy. Oh man, it was like it was heavenly sent.
Nice.
Heavenly sent.
Nice.
So,
all right. So, that's our 10 states for this episode. But let's go ahead and do our new thing that we're going to be doing on this podcast is we're going to give a local restaurant shout out. Unfortunately, we live in Conroe, so most of these places are going to be in Conroe.
Yes.
But if we're ever out traveling or visiting somewhere, we'll do a local restaurant from wherever we're at.
So I actually tried this restaurant.
Yeah, no, I tried it for the first time 2 nights ago. We were there. My fiance and I were playing poker at the local VFW. When we got done, I actually won some money. And she's like, oh, we can go out to eat then. I was like, yeah, sure. So then she took me to this place called Monkey Tails. And it's right on... it's not 105. What's Fraser or State Highway 75 that runs up and down north through the center of Conroe. It's right on Fraser Road or State Highway 75. It's really good. The wait staff there were amazing. They were open pretty darn late. I would say.
They were open till 2.
Yeah, because we were there around like midnight when we got done playing poker.
Yeah.
They have amazing pizza. They have amazing quesadillas. They have these little like pork rind
chicharrones.
Yeah, those things.
Look, when I was there, they were freaking good, man. That was the highlight of my night.
They were popping. I'm not a huge fan of pork-based food, but even I enjoyed and ate those. They have this like great queso dip you can dip them in. Really good. Now I don't drink, but the people I was with, they were ordering drinks from the bar, and they were just praising at how well the drinks were made. Because like some of these drinks they were ordering were pretty darn complicated, and they looked really good. But from the people I was with, they were saying, "Hey, the drinks were just absolutely amazing."
So when I went to Monkey Tails, I went there, and when they brought the chicharrones out, they were still popping. Like you could hear them pop.
They were popping in the basket.
Pop. And I'm sitting here like, man, these are some big chicharrones. I'm like, oh, they made them good. So I bit into one, and I looked at Tiffany, and I was like, oh my God, these are freaking good. They're freaking good. We had some other food there. We actually had like their potatoes and their sausages because they had crawfish at the time. And the only thing that I could say that I wasn't a fan of but it was still good. Just my least favorite. I wasn't a fan of their chorizo style pizza.
We had meat lovers, so I don't know.
But the crust on that bread, that pizza, was freaking fantastic.
I was taking the crust off the pizza and dipping it in the queso dip that came with
the crust was
whatever you're calling them, the pork skins, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. So, but with that, definitely check it out. They're right there on Fraser, right next if you're in the Conroe area. They're right next to the Johnny B. Dalton's.
Right. And same parking lot as the Johnny B. Dalton's.
Mavericks. Right across the street from Hippo Burger, I believe, which I'm going to be taking a trip to Hippo Burger and giving my reviews on Hippo Burger and comparing it to...
I think Mavericks is like a little bit further north.
Yeah.
If you get to Mavericks, if you head north and you hit Mavericks, you've gone too far. It's the shopping center before that.
I thought they were in the same shopping center. Okay. Man, don't...
I always get those two shopping centers confused.
Okay.
The reason why I know this, I'm a big comic book nerd. Mavericks shares a parking lot with a comic book store. Marshalls.
That's Marshalls.
Well, I'm wrong.
It's Marshalls.
So if you go to Marshalls, you're too far north.
You're too far north.
My bad on the Mavericks.
So definitely check it out. With that being said, I was saying something, but I can't remember what I was saying. Recipe
of the episode. We need to have like a little button for like the recipe of the episode.
We're about to do big things. You gotta bear with us here. I work a full-time job. Levi, he works. He's a busy man. He does a lot of work. And if you guys don't know, Levi does a lot of work in the community. He's a very hands-on guy when it's coming to dealing with, is the right word, like social problems?
Yeah.
Social issues?
Yeah, community.
Community issues and...
Lack of a better word, I'm a community organizer.
He's a community organizer, and I would also be an activist. Would be kind of sort of
true. That is a term you can put on.
He's a great guy, great judge of character. So if you guys ever see him out there, say hi. But a real good guy. So recipe of the day. I don't. Let's see. Recipe of the day.
I could get my chili mac real quick.
I would say, I think we did the chili mac.
But I changed it this time. I made it again, but I added, so it was the same thing. I had my Wolf brand chili. I had my Velveeta shell mac and cheese. I did it the normal with the noodles, and then, with the pasta noodles. I spiced it with my onion powder, my garlic powder, my pepper and everything. But when it was all ready to go, I poured in a big can of red kidney beans, juice and all.
Ooh. Nice.
Mixed it in, ate it, and I just can't tell you the flavor that the kidney beans added to the chili plus the mac was spectacular.
The Levi's recipe of the day. The quick 10-minute meals for single dads.
For single dads, yeah. I think from when I started boiling water till it was all done, it was like 15 minutes, but that meal popped. It was delicious. It was really good to go. So, you want your Wolf brand chili, you want your Velveeta and cheese macaroni shells, and then add in a full can of kidney beans. When it's all done and made, add in the kidney beans, mix it all up, let it heat for about 5 to 10 more minutes, then serve.
So So no longer could we give that a name, like the Rex Mac, the Mac and Rex? I don't know. We'll think
the Mac and Rex.
The Mac and Rex. The Mac and Rex. But I do got an idea though. Maybe if you guys that like salmon, real quick before we go, we got probably about a couple minutes left or whatever. Get you a salmon steak or an 8-ounce piece of salmon with the skin on. Oil it down, salt, pepper, get a little bit of dill. Put it on there, sear it. Now, sear it skin down. There's a reason for that. Skin down, always skin down. All right. When you're searing your salmon, you'll start seeing a little line of where certain parts of the meat is starting to get cooked and done. When that gets about halfway, your meat is going to release, or your skin is going to release from that pan from being hot. Then you flip it. The reason why you wait that long is so you won't tear your crispy skin. Oh. Your skin is going to be real crispy. All right, push that to the side. Now we're going to make your dill sauce. What you're going to do is take your heavy whipping cream, chop up some dill, take the stem of the dill, slice it a little bit, get some of that juice out of there, dump that into the heavy whipping cream. After you let your heavy whipping cream simmer for a few minutes, get some of that milky taste out of there. Put some capers in there, some lemon zest, some lemon juice, mix it all up. And once it reduces down and becomes a sauce consistency, and pour that over your salmon over a bed of rice. Sounds good.
That does sound good.
So,
And with that, we have to start signing off.
thank you guys for coming out. You guys are awesome.
Make sure you follow us on all of our socials, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
And we're available on all podcast platforms. Definitely check us out. You guys are super awesome. And time to go.
All right. We will see you guys in 2 weeks. Oh, okay.